Yeah, that's good. And then what was the biggest challenge regaining that competitive form and coming back into golf? Because you were out for a bit over a year, was it?
I didn't really play competitively for about 4 years.
4 years.
Yeah. So, and then when I started to play again, I thought, it's this difference between playing socially and playing competitively. I was playing fine, hitting it quite well. But then when I went to play some pro-ams, like as soon as you put it under pressure, like there's a whole different element.
Yes.
There's a whole different level of nuance in what you need to be able to do under pressure compared to just playing with a few of your mates. So it took me a while, to be honest, and I didn't. I remember I played the Cottesloe Open, which is a 2-round pro-am in Perth, when I was sort of starting to play again. Had a decent first round, and then the second round it was a seeded draw, so it gets you put in order of where you were, and I was coming up pretty high, and afternoon I was playing in the afternoon, there was people around, and then I remember that day I've never been so nervous in my life, and I played horrible. Pardon me. And I rang up a guy that I can't remember who it was. I remember a guy I was talking to about my golf at the time, and I said, well, I couldn't play. And he said, well, you haven't been under pressure for 5 years, really, proper pressure. And in your mind, that was a big event for you. And so, he said to me, pressure's a privilege, and you got to embrace it, rather than I was sort of shying away from it because, when you're out of practice, you don't have that. So anyway, that was a good lesson. And then I just practice. We can't replace, putting yourself under pressure, and it's hard to practice that unless you're actually there, because when you're practicing it's just hard to recreate. So.
And then you started winning again on the Pro-Am circuit after more than 6 years away. Am I right in saying it was about that time? I
won one event.
Yeah,
so
you've
been a bit nice.
No. But like, how did that victory feel? Because
that was probably one of the most satifying days I've had on a golf course. That was at Northern Golf Club, who, Heath the pro was a mate of mine when I was growing up, so it's great to catch up with him again. But that was one of those ones where I had been playing for about 18 months and having some okay results in the pro-ams, but never been able to get over the line. And that day I just played really well, and I think I shot 7 under or something, and that was one of the most satisfying wins I've had, because I never thought I would win again.
Well, what a comeback. Like, it's, as I said earlier, like, it's not often where you get an athlete that, comes back to the sport that they previously played, and then you've won. So that would be up there with one of the best. Did you? Yeah.
It was probably one of the most satisfying. Yeah. It wasn't the biggest event I've won, but it was just it was just nice to prove. It wasn't about the money, or it wasn't about anything else. It was about proving to myself that I could still do it, really. So.